You look like some trouble, I just might wanna get into. Pull up and so girl, you know I don't do rental. Pull up in a drop top, baby send the Addy. Hit it from the back, cause I know you got a fatty. Yeah, sipping on some rock, fucking natty. Got me in her mouth, I'm a new favorite candy. Double G where the waist is. She don't mess around with no basic. Roll me up a blunt, gotta face it. Just another weekend getting faded. Gotta stay away from the fake shit. They gon' say they love you when they hating. The rats gon' lead where the snakes is. The demons gon' lead you to Satan. You look like some trouble, I just might wanna get into. Pull up and so girl, you know I don't do rental. You look like some trouble, I just might wanna get into. Pull up and so girl, you know I don't do rental. Limes and tequila, can't forget the reefer. Always call my phone, but say nothing when I see ya. Limes and tequila, can't forget the reefer. Always call my phone, but say nothing when I see ya.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, Funday. Excited to have you guys with us right here on the Betting News Network. This is the All Sauce team. Hope you're having a fantastic Sunday out there. Welcome to the show. That's V Sauce. That's Jeff Sook. My name's Fuckman Jesus. Stoked to have you guys here to finish off your weekend. Another beautiful day of NBA in front of us. Boys, how we living?
Living good.
Full spinning game on a Sunday. You got the Celtics playing game 4. It's going to be a good day.
Hell yeah. Great day of hoops yesterday. Chat, full transparency, the three of us all did Saturday activities yesterday, so we did not watch the live games yesterday, which, you know, we watch basketball every single day, so there was no peepage of the games. We all watched the highlights, though. We're going to talk to you guys about what happened in the NBA yesterday. Maybe give you a little refresher if you were doing some Saturday activities and you didn't get to see some games. Tell you what happened yesterday in the hoops. Then we're going to jump into today. We're going to cook an SGP for this Knicks-Pistons game, which starts off here in the next 45 minutes, and then we're going to go through the rest of the three games on the slate with you guys, give you the saucy slate lay, and then, as always, pick a parlay at the end of the show with our favorite plays. Chat, thanks for stopping by. Vibes are high all around. Vibes are high with us. Hope the vibes are high for you. Let's get after it. Brought to you by our sponsors at BetOnline. Get involved with BetOnline with that QR code right above Mr. Sook's head. Oh, right over there. Get involved. $250 dropped into your account with that QR code, baby. Let's get after it. Yeah, yesterday was fun. I got on a horsey, rode some horses in the woods, did some camping action. Hell yeah. I honored my dog Nikola Jokic, which I felt in my plums yesterday. He was gonna have a big game. Got on a horse in his honor, and obviously the Jokic man cashed me out. Yeah. Well, there you go. At least you're here, Gerald. Gerald, you're the best kind of friend. You're like the friend that constantly shits on you but always shows up. That's the best type of friend.
That's so nice that you can get that through chat.
That's pretty good.
Pretty accurate now. And I've never even met Gerald in person. But, you know, I got Rusty in the house. Also, everybody, shout out Rusty, man. This guy has been parenting money. If you guys have been following him on his picket, he's been texting me ARB stuff that he's been doing as well. Absolutely parenting. So if you guys like tailing like ARB bets, if you like tailing like kind of both sides of a bet or things like that, or if you like tailing maybe some different types of unit distribution, go check out Rusty. It's awesome. We got a W community around here, man. Obviously, we sit up here and talk to you guys daily and tell you what we bet. But chat's sharper than we are 95% of the time. So get involved.
We're just faces. We're just faces.
And, you know, questionable faces, if that. So we'll see how it is. But we got a lot of really fun stuff moving forward. There's some rumblings of a new show that we might be doing on the channel pretty soon, which I think is going to be really, really exciting for you guys. It's something that you guys have been asking for a long time. And it's something that we are going to be putting together probably in the next couple of weeks. There might be some stuff where you guys can maybe do some calling in to the show, possibly. I don't know. We'll see. Vibes are high. Yeah, all face, no brain. Exactly. Well, let's talk about yesterday, boys. As I said, none of us actually watched these games live, so we're not going to sit here and tell you. See, we're transparent with you guys. We're not going to sit up here and lie and tell you guys that we watched these games when clearly we didn't, like a lot of the other channels do. We obviously watch games a lot, but yesterday we were all busy doing other stuff, so we didn't. So I'll just give you guys a little refresher of what happened yesterday if you guys missed out on the NBA action. I'm sure, chat, a lot of you goats out there, you probably watched everything. But first one, this one's not going to take very long. It was always the Thunder. Sweep complete. Thunder got the job done. The Memphis Grizzlies sold the bag. I thought maybe they were going to come back and win that game. They covered the 15.5. Good job. Way to cover. I thought they were going to win. I had a little fun little two-teamer with some crazy plus money doggies. It was always the Thunder. There was no question. The jaw injury ended up kind of making it a signed, sealed, delivered action for them. But, yeah, buzzsaw. I mean, Sook, you said this. You love this team. Be interested to see what they do next round. What do you guys think about the Thunder moving on?
Sauceman, you go, because the people know my thoughts on the Thunder.
Thunder are good. You know, this is what a 1 seed is supposed to do to the 8 seed. The Cavaliers are handling business on the other side of this bracket here in the same situation. And honestly, the Grizzlies gave it a good fight last night. We saw it at the end of that one. They kind of came back at the very end. And it really, really, put some strain on this OKC team. But that was as much as they're going to do, right? OKC has been the team to beat in the Western Conference. Jalen Williams averaged 20 points per game in his first real playoff series as a number 2, which I found very impressive. And Chet looked good in games 1 through 3, struggled in game 4. But again, this team looks good both on the offensive side and on the defensive side.
Just this team needs to take a lesson from their own history, that take the hardest of swings this season, because it doesn't matter if you have KD, Westbrook, and Harden. Like, contracts end up mattering. Teams shift, the landscape changes. So you don't know if all of these guys on this graphic will survive there for another number of years. If you're the number 1 seed this year, you got to go all in. And part of being all in is sweeping a team you should sweep. So everything that V said, everything that SPJ said.
Gerald notices things about my face more than all the guys.
I noticed it.
Consistently.
I noticed it.
Sure.
I didn't say anything.
Sure.
I was like, let him live, because Sook freaks out.
Yeah.
Freaks out.
I trimmed it to the level that my wife still feels like she recognizes me. Anything lower, she starts to question who she's with. So, but summer trim makes sense. I might do a little stash at some point. Chat, we'll see. But
no, I'll riot.
You handle that, Sook?
So it's like my wife. The only reason I don't do the only stash is because the same reaction that I get when I say that. Sometimes you want to try it out. Sometimes you want to let your chin breathe, No.
I actually, there B.gun one day I'll show you, or B.gun, B.done. One day I'll drop the pictures of me with no beard, and you'll be able to see that, which is fun.
B.done, I can tell you one thing. SPJ sent me a video from a long time ago, and I was like, I was confused as to what it was. And then I realized it was SPJ in the video. It was one of his reels from his acting days.
And
it took me 4 or 5 tries to understand, wait, hold on, this is him.
This is me. The life chat. It's funny. But anyway, back to basketball. It was always the Thunder. I never doubt. I'm glad I didn't bet Chet yesterday. As you mentioned Chet, I was thinking about maybe betting him because he was so good in the last game, but I'm glad I didn't. He had a bit of an off night, but it didn't matter because they got the job done. Speaking of sweeps, I don't know. Did we see another one? Did we get the broom out necessarily in this series too? The Cavaliers, I thought the Miami Heat were going to put up a fight yesterday. Tyler Hero did not end up playing very well. Davion Mitchell, shout out off night. He got the job done for me, which was great. But the Cavaliers buzzsawed them even without Darius Garland sitting out in this game at the last minute. Tyler Hero came out after the game and basically said that they weren't going to get swept, but I don't know, boys. Do we think this is another broom situation?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're Tyler Hero, you're not going to say, bring out the brooms necessarily, but they're going to come into this game again as a heavy dog. Again, just not up to par offensively or defensively against this Cavaliers team, and it's going to be a 4 quick and out.
8.5 point dog already as the home team, G.
Yeah.
I would expect, and I bet this yesterday because I was kind of riding it, and I was thinking, Tyler Hero going to come out and hoop, and he didn't. But I feel like even in game 4, I think he's going to go down swinging. So I might be investing in some Hero stock moving forward in the last game of this series, possibly. But yeah, join at the right time, AP. Join at the right time.
I thought you were going to come and join us for this run, man. Why are you going to cheer for this? He culture's out the window, all right? Sorry.
Yeah, sure. And as I mentioned earlier, I rode some horses yesterday, which was electric. Great time to be alive. But this guy loves horses too, and he was no jokes yesterday. 36 points, 21 rebounds, 8 assists. Looked absolutely dominant. That you guys have all seen the shot that ended up winning them that basketball game with Jokic passing it to Gordon. It was just a glorified air ball. But the series, we talked about this, man, going into this series, that this was going to be haymaker back and forth, and it has not disappointed. Tied series now. Going back to Denver, no? We're going back to Denver now, 2-2. Isn't that what we're looking at here?
Yep.
Clippers dropped game 4 yesterday as the Jokic. It was all Jokic. I watched most of the highlights of this game. I watched it a little bit more extensively than most of the other games, and Jokic did Jokic things, and that's what they're going to need if they're going to end up winning this series, is for Joker to do this for another 3 games. The Clippers looked a little I saw you post some stuff on the timeline via about the Clips. Were you watching some stuff here, or were you just kind of paying attention to what was happening in the beginning parts of this game?
So no, this was the game I actually watched. This was the one on the last night's slate that I did watch. Jokic put on an absolute clinic. Yes, they built a 20-point lead. They watched that 20-point lead dissolve in the second half. And honestly, most of that in the fourth quarter. It was kind of concerning. Jamal Murray couldn't hit his shot until it mattered most. Hit big shots in a close game. And yes, Jokic is the game winner with AG and stuff like that was very fun. But the shot that he hit before that, insane when you watch this guy and his footwork and when he wants to play. He was literally making subs. At the end of the third quarter, there was 0.8 seconds left on the clock, out of bounds play. He knows they're going to go to the rim. So what's he do? He subs out Jamal Murray, brings in DeAndre Jordan, literally waves at him, like, get the fuck in here. And who knocks the ball away at the rim? DeAndre Jordan. You know, it's no surprise that this guy is so good at basketball. It's not just like physical that he's good at this, but mentally he understands the game and he knows how it's played. And I think, dude, I was counting them out last night. He showed me once again, like he does time and time again.
This is just furthering my conversation that we've talked about, which we won't go into now because I don't want us to run out of time to cook the SGP. But this furthers my argument that Jokic is the MVP. Watching this series versus watching, SGA is going to win. I've even heard the players all say they want him to win. I'm pretty sure that SGA at this point is going to win. But Joker's, we saw what the Thunder did in their series, and SGA was pedestrian for 3 of those 4 games, and they destroyed them. And the Grizzlies are an okay basketball team. The Clippers are a completely different story. But like, come on, this is if Jokic didn't do this yesterday, the Clippers would probably sweep this series.
If Jokic didn't do that yesterday, he probably had 5 more years to his life. Guys,
probably. Yeah, facts. But hey,
that's the 3, man. It's about to get very, very interesting.
This next game This next game is going to be very, very telling on how the rest of this series is going to go. I don't know if the Nuggets necessarily, but
if the Nuggets win, would you guys back them in round 2?
The series? It depends on who they would be. Depends on who they would be playing. Who would they play?
They'd be playing
Lakers, Wolves, right?
Yep. I think so. I think I would have them. Yeah.
Versus the Lakers or the Wolves.
I think I got them against either one.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I honestly don't know. I think
I
would
think
take them over
twice to the Wolves.
I don't know.
I don't see it.
Tough. Should be fun though. The last 3 games of this series is going to be awesome. Speaking of awesome, this guy just continues to be awesome. Chef Curry cooked last night. No Jimmy in this game. It was kind of rumbles around. Stook and I were texting about this. Stook was putting out his piece for this game yesterday that Jimmy Butler was a very much so if ended up not suiting up yesterday, but it didn't matter because they had this guy. He was absolutely amazing yesterday. 36 points, 7 boards, 9 assists, almost triple-double, and just carried this team to victory once again, as he has done for the last, 15 years at this point. Do you guys think that his play and what he's doing right now, especially when Jimmy comes back, is going to be enough to get them over the edge against this Rockets team, or do you think the Rockets have a chance to kind of get back in this one?
I have always said that the Rockets were in the upset territory from day one. When you don't shoot that well and you have a world beater like Curry on the other side, you have to be worried. And honestly, I'm not surprised. Curry, 8 second chance points. I wrote about that in my piece that they needed to score second chance points as part of their offense, as part of what makes them backbreaking, what makes them the opposing defense feel off kilter no matter what. And Steph Curry played his game. If you're losing to the Warriors without Jimmy, then you don't have a shot in the series. You don't, in my opinion.
This is another one I was very, very wrong about. I thought no Jimmy, the team would sputter and Steph might struggle a little bit. He did not. If you look at the top 8 scorers through 3 games in this series, Steph is number 1. The next 7 are Rockets players. The next 7 are Rockets players, boys. That's how much he has been carrying this team through 3 games. And like I said before the series started, everyone's a Steph stopper till it comes time to actually stop Steph.
Saw a funny tweet from Kevin O'Connell talking about how they should just have Steph. One of their plays should be like kind of like the NBA tush push. Like they should just walk Steph down the court, get the other 4 guys, and just make a little circle around him so he can just shoot a shot and just play like that, and that be their offensive sets. I think at portions of the game, if you watch the game, sometimes they do something like that. They run like triple screens for him. Yeah. He did that to a lot of people, Rusty. He did that to me too, because the fact that I told Austin, shout out Austin for texting us, asking what we liked in this game, and I was busy doing stuff, and I was like, I mean, Steph's probably going to cook and go crazy. I like his PRA. Did I bet it? No. Did it smack? Yes. So that's how that goes. Rockets in 6 from Skit, though. I don't know. We'll see.
Skit's got the Rockets and Nuggets.
Yeah. He likes the Wolves too. We're going to find out today how proper that's going to be in just a few minutes. It's crazy. Yeah, I agree with this take. He is pretty. I mean, we saw this making those Olympic shots. Like he is not scared of the big moment. There is nothing about this man that shies away from the big moment.
Boys, sorry, wouldn't the Warriors or the Rockets play the Timberwolves Lakers in the next round?
No, because there's the opportunity for Lakers Clippers.
They don't reseed in the NBA. Sook?
Sir, you were the one who said it. What series are you asking for? I have it pulled up now.
So now we were talking about the Nuggets, the Clippers, right? If they move on, do they not play OKC?
They do. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now thinking about that, are you guys taking them in the next series?
Yeah.
No.
I would take the Nuggets over the Thunder. I know Sook wouldn't, but I would.
Wow. They just hand out crack in Nashville.
They do. On the regular. To start my day. Chad, okay, what do you guys think?
Sick, man. Oh, I got him too.
What?
Yeah, I said it. I don't believe in this Thunder team. I've said it, second round exit.
The crack epidemic in America is crazy. Even small town California.
Of course, small town California is even worse. I'll say that. But anyways, moving on.
I mean, this would be some headlines.
Yeah.
Gotta say. I mean, 7 game or at least 4 to 5 with the 2 MVPs throwing haymakers. Fun times, man. Fun times to be alive in the NBA. All right, well, that was yesterday. Fun Saturday in the NBA, but we got a fun Sunday fun day in front of you guys right now. First game tips off here in the next 40 minutes. What we're going to do, chat, as always, drop your favorite plays. Give us what you guys like as we go game by game. We're going to cook an SGP for this first game for the Knicks taking on the Pistons. The Pistons looking to jump back into this series to tie this up back at home before we go back to the Garden. Sauceman, take it away. We're going to cook an SGP, then we're going to go through the rest of the slate. Let's get after it.
Hell yeah. All right, boys. First game of the day starts in 30 minutes. We got the Knicks rolling into Little Caesars Arena in Detroit. 2.5 point spread, over under set at 216.5. Detroit really almost fumbled the way to go up 2-1 in the last game, gave back home court. What are we looking at in this one? So start us off.
I got to go with maybe Cat's PA. That's the one thing I had circled. It's been hitting at a good hit rate. I kind of think he's gotten the best of Jalen Duren, and I think he will continue to. And we're kind of New York haters, me and V, but SPJ, you've kind of said they're going to win this series, even though Detroit is the young and up-and-coming team. But, yeah, I really had Cat's PA circled. I also do think for the big guy or for the SGP, we got to talk a little bit about the German. But those are the 2 favorite things I had. A little meow and a little German.
Cat, I bet Cat last game, and it was free. And for some reason today, it's kind of scaring me a little bit. I like the look.
Really?
He was good last game, but he's just been so up and down that like I feel like this is a down. Um, but
Oh, gee.
I don't dislike it. I like the PA, like you mentioned, or even just the points, or the 2 threes. He finally started taking threes again. I was looking at this. If you look at his threes, it is 1.5. He hit 4 last game. Took 8. The first 2 games of the series, he didn't even. I think he took like 2 and 3 threes. So his volume was very low to start the series. I wonder if that was an adjustment that they made to get him back to shooting his normal 6 to 8 a game, because they need that from him as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that was an adjustment that you're seeing on the screen there, if that's something that it was just an outlier. We're going to find out today. But
can you speak to that at all? Like, what changed in this one? Why was he more open to taking 8 threes? Was it a defensive thing, or was it just a Cat thing that he changed?
I think it was the noise. A lot of people have been in the New York media criticizing how Cat's been utilized. So I think when that kind of happens, you have everybody in your ear and you're like, hey, I'm here for offense. That is true. So you see that uptick in usage and volume then.
Because his shot volume in general really increased in games 1 and 3, the 2 games that they won. Whereas in game 2, he took 11 shots, deferred a little more to Mikal Bridges. And maybe that's not the kind of result that you want. Maybe Mikal's efficient, but he's not giving you the kind of buckets that you want.
SPJ, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was one of those games in this series where Cat didn't have a point in the second half or some shit, or a field goal attempt. So I think it's just more. I think it's a byproduct of that.
I think that they made it after game 2. There was a concerted chat with Cat, a Cat chat. They said, "Listen, brother, you need to be the second best offensive player on this team, and we need you to shoot the basketball, because you don't go from taking to barely any 3-pointers in the first 2 games and being pretty inefficient like you showed, to taking 8 the next game." So I think that there was a concerted effort that they made from them, whether it was scheming or if it was just, hey, brother, shoot the ball. We need it. But just to be a little chalky before V maybe talks about a couple of things too, I'm looking at both the superstars in this game. I really like Cade a lot in this spot. I know that it's like, again, I'm going to tell you guys both the best players on both of these teams to bet today. So if you don't like that, then you can mute me for a minute. But I mean, Cade's over 27.5 points. Looks great. His PRA looks really good. His RA is hitting almost every game this series. He's been really good on the glass. But his PRA is probably my favorite just because of his propensity to obviously score the basketball. We saw his face after they lost that game. He didn't really shoot the ball very well last game too. Still took a hefty amount of shots. So the volume was still there. Just didn't quite get over the hump with his scoring. So I like the PRA the most. I think 44.5 at plus money was something that I had locked in. 25 shots last game, like I mentioned, still didn't quite get over the hump with his points, but I don't know. I feel like a bounce back is going to come. He's going to probably get a triple-double at some point throughout this series. Maybe it's today, plus 700 if you want to sprinkle on that. He's been good on the glass, like I mentioned, and obviously his assist is always going to be a possibility too. If the aforementioned Beasleys and Hardaways and Schroeders of the world are knocking down shots. So, yeah, I like Cade. I think Cade's going to have a big day today.
I kind of agree with that. Yeah, I kind of agree with that sentiment about Cade. I think he's going to have a big day. And reason is, it's like back against the wall. You made your first All-Star game this year. You've shown you were this team's best player. He's taken 20-plus shots in almost, 9 straight games. The volume has been there. Yeah, maybe in games 1 and 3, the shooting percentages weren't where you want them to be, but he knows that he needs to be better. He understands what this team is and what they bring to the table. If he's not putting up at least 25 to 28 points per game, they really are not in a position to succeed. The 24 he had last game was, but 42%. They lost that game by 3 points at home. You need to secure game 4 if you want a chance in this series going back to New York. You can't give this game up. He is playing high minutes, and I expect him to continue that same, of that same tree. 42.5 minutes in game 3, 42.5 minutes in game 3 and game 2. Sorry. I think it's going to be more of the same tonight. He's going to get to the line. And honestly, this is a series that the league might want to see go that much longer. So if that's the case, we might see a couple extra free throw attempts for our boy here.
Yeah, I agree.
He had 12 in game 2. 12 free throw attempts in game 2. That went down to 3 in game 3. You cannot tell me that's normal for a guy who drives and plays near the rim as much as he does. Jalen Brunson has gotten the benefit of the doubt of the whistle. I think it kind of comes back a little bit towards the Pistons side today.
The 2 games that the Knicks have won, Cade scored 20 and 24. The one game that the Pistons won, Cade scored 33 points. So small sample size, only 3 games, but you can see a trend here that Cade has to score for this team, as you mentioned, to possibly win or to win. Since you mentioned the other guy, I'll talk about him. I really like Brunson. I know at this point, it's really frustrating for me to watch this guy play because of the way that he's playing at the moment, but you can't deny that he's getting to the line. He's scoring the basketball. His 36.5 PA is hitting every game this series. I also really like his PRA. He's a good rebounder. Obviously, had 7 boards last game. Not like a massive rebounder in their offense and stuff, but I like the 39.5 PRA too. Hit that in all 3 games. I just don't see he's going to play 40 minutes. He's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. He could hit both of these numbers possibly with points if he has a big game. So not scared of both superstars to continue doing what they've been doing this entire series, and also to just keep rolling and to possibly have both of their teams win.
The volume's there with him. He got to the line 13 times last game. It's going to continue that way with his style of basketball. They're not going to make the necessary changes in the middle of the series. You know what I mean? In terms of like they did with Trae Young and stuff like that. I think this is going to be a good spot for him. Both these guys have a chance to have big games. 40.5 for Brunson feels nice too. You could also just go with the PA, but like the 7 rebounds last game, he does sometimes have these big rebounding bursts. I could definitely see just because there's going to be more missed shots in a game like this.
Mm-hmm. Well, and if you look at it too, the PRA is 39.5 or 40.5 for plus money, and the PA is 36.5. Yeah. So, and he's hit the PA pretty easily in all 3 games, but the PRA is hit even more easily, and that's with the additional bonus of adding in the rebounding aspect of it. And he could probably just kind of scramble around on the floor and find 3 or 4 rebounds versus maybe having a big rebounding game. So, I don't know. Shop around if you want to find one of those lines. Nothing wrong with taking his points either. It's 29.5. He's had 30 in all 3 games. So, and like you mentioned, the volume's there. He's going to get to the line. I don't see a way. He's also had double-digit potential assists in every game too. So I think the PA, like you mentioned, is probably the best. I hadn't bet any of it. I just was looking at which one I wanted to talk about on here. But yeah, what did you like, V?
I liked McCade quite a bit. I want to bet Malik Beasley, but I need you guys to tell me if it's a shit bet again. How many threes can this guy possibly miss in a 3-game span?
I don't know. How many times can you bet it? We'll find out.
I was looking at it. I mean, his playing time got cut pretty severely last game, but he still hucked 10 threes in like 20 minutes. He ain't seen a shot he don't like, and we talked about it before. He's due for a 4 to 5 to 6 3-point game like we saw in game 1 from him. His points line has been dropped, like you mentioned as well. So, yeah.
I think one thing that hasn't been talked about enough in this series is that Tim Hardaway Jr. was drafted by the New York Knicks and then traded away to the Atlanta Hawks, who then sent him to the G League. This is a team that changed his trajectory in the NBA after he was drafted out of Michigan. I think in 2 of the 3 games, he played fantastic, and then the other game, he had a goose egg. And I think that's maybe eating into Malik Beasley's production, but I'm down to go back to Malik because Malik's definitely the superior player. Tim's just having a good 2-3 games.
He is, and I think Schroeder too is kind of into it just because of what he brings on the defensive end. He brings a little bit of a better matchup, moves his feet, plays with strength, and with pride on the defensive side too. I think Schroeder does it. Sometimes other guys are very focused on the offensive side, so that's something you want against guys like OG, against guys like Jalen Brunson, and he's been playing well, right? Schroeder's also rewarded them on the offensive side. He's hit big threes in games. Look how big he was in game 2, but dude is 3 of 18 in his last 2 games. What is going on, right? He's gotta get better, but maybe we just bet this in our own corner.
I feel like we don't put this in the parlay. Definitely worth a bet because of how low the lines are and the volume's still there. But just to talk about the Schroeder thing before we decide what we're going to put in this parlay, I think the reason why they're letting Schroeder run a little bit more, especially with the starting unit after the game kind of gets rolling and even possibly closing the game, is because he can be a ball handling point guard on this team with Cade on the court. Because when Malik Beasley's on the court with Cade, Cade has to be the primary point guard. So that requires him to bring the ball up the court, and it can help. He can sometimes just go to the bucket, or they can like ISO him and have him just get his points. But with Schroeder on the court, Schroeder can run the offense, and Cade can be an off-ball player, and that can help him be a more dominant, advantageous scorer. That's, I think, the reason why that math is getting kind of fucked up in comparison to what we've seen from the Pistons overall through the entire season, because they like having the option of both ball handlers on the court at the same time to be able to then shake up which way they want to run their offense. And that's digging into Beasley's minutes. That's probably digging into also the way that Hardaway fits into the math too. So just from watching the games, I feel like that's why the Schroeder thing is helping them, but also deterring from Beasley's minutes and Hardaway's production as well.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. And just to add to that point, Schroeder's a guy that's been the lead ball handler in FIBA. He's a guy that really does know how to be the driving force in an offense. So when you do slide Cade over to that shot guard spot, he's more advantageous in scoring. He's just a bigger body, and it lets him not take possessions off, but it takes some of that onus and load and responsibility off of him. So I really do like Schroeder closing the game. That's why I brought it up as one of the things I had circled. I think the PA, the PR, the PRA, all of it weirdly looks good for the German.
He didn't shoot a lot last game, but he definitely has been very efficient. So his points is also a little bit low in comparison to what we've seen from him scoring the basketball in the last two. So maybe he's due for a tiny bit of regression scoring. But I like it. I think he's going to be out there for 30 minutes, even though he doesn't start. So, all right, guys.
Take some time, Schroeder.
We good? I feel like we all can agree on this. Can we bet Cade and Brunson? I know it's chalky, but can we put both those guys in this parlay? Yeah, they're going to be out there. They're both going to be out there for 40 minutes. They're both going to have the ball in their hands a lot. And I'm down to go with that ship. I'm down to go down with that ship if one of them has a bad game. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So do you guys want to go Cade PRA or Cade points? PA? What are we thinking for Cade?
Sauce?
I think the PRA. He's been attacking the offensive glass as well. He's been doing a good job of getting out on the break from the defensive glass. I think the PRA is a good spot.
43.5.
Okay. I honestly think for both of them, PRA feels comfortable. If you want to do PA for JB, I'm down. But I do think PRA is comfortable.
I like the 39.5 for Brunson too, but I'll let Sook be the decider. Do you want to do PA for Brunson or PRA for Brunson, Sook?
PRA.
Okay, so 39.5 for both the stars from Cade and Brunson. Do we want to ride Big Purr for 2 threes?
Yeah, I would be down.
It's minus 125.
Just 2 threes, man. You took 8 last game. You guys won. If you come out here and shoot 4 threes, I don't know what to make of it.
Meow, buddy. That's what we're gonna be saying in a couple of hours.
Meow. In 20 minutes. All right. So Cat for 2 threes. Cade and Brunson for their RA or PRA. One more leg. OG Love in the chat. Someone was mentioning.
Do we want to take something on the Piston side though?
Yeah, I'm down to take Piston. Durin double. That could be fun. I like that from Crazy Pellet.
I do like that.
It's minus 130. How's he been doing this series?
Double in one game. I was looking at the assists. It's at 2.5. It's hit in 2 of 3. I'm a big guy of his passing ability, so at 2.5, I think it's low, but obviously he hasn't hit that 4 mark, so he hasn't gotten really over the mark, but he has hit the mark in 2 of 3. Do you guys have a strong opinion on the side?
I like the Pistons.
I think the Pistons tie up the series, man. I want to say, but
no beans. But if I had to choose, I'd take the Pistons in the points.
We
could do that in the last leg. Take the Pistons with the points.
I think Sook likes Pistons with the points.
You're kind of Walmarting pretty bad, B. Like it's getting to the point where you're kind of cutting out quite consistently. I don't know if it's something. Do you have a lot of tabs open? Close that other tab. You know what I'm saying?
Let me reset. I'll be right back.
Okay. Sook, do you like the Pistons?
I mean, I hope it's the Pistons. I like the Pistons, but they've lost 2 games already in this series. They're so young. I just don't know.
Should we just take them on the money line to win? Minus 134. Last leg.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So Cade 43.5 PRA, Brunson 39.5 PRA, Cat 2 threes, Pistons money line plus 880. Happy?
880. Do we want to add one more leg?
No, 880 is fine.
All
We're
right.
gonna cook like 3 more parlays. We're fine. Chat, you see this? See that right there? That is how we've gotten this man this last year and a half.
What
right,
was Brunson's and Cade's PRA?
Brunson's PRA is 39.5. Cade's PRA is 43.5.
That'll do.
Oh, did Trent and Betting Queen take the Pistons? Lovely. Love to see it. Hey, they win sometimes too. All right. Cade plus 43.5 PRA. Jalen Brunson 39.5 PRA. Cat 2 threes. Meow. And then the Pistons on the money line plus 883. Chat, let us know how it's going. This game's going to start here in the next 20 minutes or so. And then we can. Sook says, that's not 4 digits. You're like Trizzy. I love it. All right, let's do it, chat. Here we go. If you want to lock it in, feel free to write it out with us. That's the first SGP for this early game. And then we'll jump in to the rest of it. Sauceman, I thought would be back by now, but he's not still. So whatever.
He's gone.
He's gone. Prindy's MySpace. Okay. I'll kind of read off the odds here for the next game. Let's jump in. AP's golfing. Let's go. Long and straight, AP. Long and straight. All right, so let's talk about the Wolves. Wolves at home here in Target Center looking to take a commanding 3-1 lead on the Lakers. Lakers coming in as dogs here, plus 130 on the money line, 2.5 point spread towards the Wolves at home. Over-under set at 208.5. I got 2 things I liked in this one. Kind of kick us off.
Let's go.
And we will we'll see what you think. First one, I'm gonna roll with again. I'm taking chalk here. I'm taking Ant, but I'm not taking his points. I like the points if you want to go that route. I took his RA though. I got 11.5 on his rebounds and assist line, a minus 110. Hitting 2 of the 3 games in this series. He had 8 assists and 8 boards in their last game. Back to regularly scheduled programming for Ant. I think we're going to see the same again in this game. So I really like the RA at 11.5. If you want to go PRA, you can 40.5. If you want to just take his points at 27.5, I could see that too. He had 29 last game, looked aggressive, and the Wolves kind of got back to doing what they were doing kind of in game 1. So I like that. The other one, not going to sell it on you too much, but I'm taking Luka for 28.5 points. He owes me, man, from last game. Whatever bug he still played 40 minutes with that stomach bug. I think he's probably fine now. He's recovered, and I'm gonna bet at 29.5. Like this guy's line has been sitting at 31.5, 32.5 over the last 2 weeks. Dropped at 5 points just because he had a bad game. Missed me with that. So give me Luka over 28.5 points. What do you think about What do you think about Braun? After we shout out us, we actually kind of called that he was due and had a huge game. They needed it, and it still ended up not being enough. But do you think Braun has kind of found his groove and is going to come in and have a big game again?
I definitely think that his 2 threes is a parlay piece again. The RA probably looks good. A guy like LeBron James knows that, hey, even though we did make the playoffs, we got to still make a lot of noise here. And I don't know. Are you of the mind that the Wolves are slowly becoming the favorites in this series?
Well, they're the betting favorites as of right now.
Well, there you go. So I'm sure LeBron James knows that. So I love the RA, and for a parlay piece, I love the threes for LeBron.
Let's go, John. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, sometimes every once in a while we're smarty pantses. What a solid score for you. Let's go, Embiid. Yeah, I like the threes. He looked really good from three in their last game. And we know when Braun gets going from deep, he kind of goes through these stretches where he hits 4 to 5 for like 4 games or something. And they needed his offense last game. I think this game, Luka will come back and be the normal Luka we've seen for the past month for the Lakers. Ball dominant, shooting a lot of high efficient shots and making quite a few of them. He still made some crazy ass shots in that game. He just obviously was not 100%, so he didn't get his normal scoring load. But yeah, I agree with you, dude. I think that the Wolves have become the favorite in this series. I think that but the thing about this series, though, man, and we talked about this. This is the roller coaster series. If the Lakers come out and win this game by or win this game by 10 points or something, then it's going to go back to being almost even, or the Lakers might be a little favored because this game goes back to crypto. So I'm not going to buy too much on the odds necessarily. But yeah, this has been the case. And we talked about this with this series. The Lakers, if the Lakers are going to win this series, Luka and LeBron are going to have to be elite scoring. If they're not one game, we've seen what's happened. They've lost 2 of them. If they are, then they win. So
what do you think about the other guy that needs to be good for the Lakers to be successful? They're hanging AR low at 8.5. That was something I circled.
I like that a lot. Hitting the last 2 games, 7 boards, 4 assists in their last game. Minus 135 for over 8.5. I like that a lot.
Weirdly low, no?
I'd be down to put that in our Saucile. I think that's definitely going to be on the table. He's going to be out there. They need his offense. They need his facilitating, and he's obviously a willing rebounder as well with how aggressive he's been. So, Sauce, what do you? Welcome back.
How's my leg? Tell me that.
You seem a lot better now.
Okay. Let's hope it sticks.
He's asking how his leg is as he hiccups and coughs through it. Very good. How's your leg? Your personal leg?
My personal leg's always at a good 80%, but that's just my life. You know what I mean?
Solid.
I like the AR look. I was looking at other the Timberwolves. They played very well defensively last game, and I think that I know Luka had a bug, and everyone's gonna kind of count them out after the way they looked last game, but that's what everyone did after game 1, right? Now, not to say that I'm a huge believer in this Lakers team with the way that they've looked outside of the 2 superstars, but he had a stomach bug, barely put up 20 points, and they lost the game right at the end of that one, right? Now, will LeBron shoot the same? That's my main question for you boys. Is LeBron kind of finally found his groove and going to go on a little bit of a run? Because I don't know if you guys saw the stats of what his numbers look like down 2-1 in the series. He averages 32.2 points per game, shoots the lights out. But again, this time he's 40 years old. What's you guys' read on LeBron tonight?
It's funny that, chat, you guys can tell now that we have been doing this stream together for the last 2 years because Vigo's away for 5 minutes, and we talked about this exact thing that he just asked us. So, yeah.
I had to reset.
Yeah. Well, you're still kind of lagging, unfortunately, but don't worry about it. We'll just roll with it.
We talked about the RAV, and we also talked about the 2 threes being great parlay piece once again. SPJ kind of talked about how once he's on a roll, he'll go on a roll for a few games in a row. And then we also talked about Austin Reeves, but just because we're talking about LeBron again, boys, what about Jaden McDaniels' PRA?
I'm scared of taking his PRA, man, just because he just had 30 points. He's not a 30-point scorer, really, but
hard to not like the game before.
And they're attacking the matchup, right? That's what they're doing. They're attacking this matchup, and Luka has not been there defensively. It's what teams have been doing, and yeah, maybe sometimes offensively they can outlive that, but not right now. The way Jaden McDaniels is kind of attacking Luka Doncic, do we not think it continues?
I like what Jaden said too after the game, and they were like, "Oh, why do you have the mentality that you have?" And he just really was honest, and he was like, "I don't feel like they have a great rim protector, and sometimes I'm the tallest guy on the court, so I should just go up and over top." It's simple. That's why I mean, like, are we making it complicated? Like, he's keeping
No.
it simple.
He's tall. Like, he's tall.
Yeah, he's tall.
He's tall. Did you guys see the interview with Ant? I love Ant's interviews, man.
Yeah,
he's one of my favorite interviewers in the NBA. Like, he was like, I don't know. Do y'all see Jaden out there, man? This guy doesn't even look like he's tired. I'm huffing and puffing over there, and I don't know what this guy does in the offseason working out and shit. But I mean, you guys know Jaden. He doesn't really show expressions, but he's not tired, and you can tell when guys are tired. It's true though. He doesn't.
Remember last year? He's like, I know they got Kevin Durant, but we got Jaden McDaniels, right? Am I lagging a lot?
A little random thought here of 14-2 on the noon games on the under. Good, Shags. Glad we cooked up a lot of point scorers. That's great for us.
Hey, PRAs, rebounds.
Yeah, we can get those stats with the under still smacking. So, but I'm down to throw Jaden McDaniels PRA in our in the saucy lay, not the 4-geyser, but the slate lay. You guys down for that?
Down for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Should we take LeBron's 2 threes on the other side?
Or his points. Just like, I think it's 23.5. I can get down with that too.
Me too.
You're
speaking to the choir here, Red X. What's up? And you added 2 threes for me too? Come on.
All right. So LeBron, it's actually 25 plus now. Down for Braun, 25
points.
Yep. All right. So Braun 25, and then Jaden McDaniels PRA.
Is this still 21.5?
Let me check. Oh, I don't have it on here. I'll have to switch books. It's weird.
Gesundheit.
Yeah. All right. Let's switch it over here. Okay, so Braun 25, Jaden McDaniels 20.5. Yeah.
20.5. All right, dope.
Mm-hmm. So that's those two. What do you think about Luka V? I bet his points, obviously. Do you think that he's going to come out and drop 30, or do you think that he's still kind of going to be dealing with the stomach stuff? Goats are muted. Goats are very muted.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
Lagging, muted.
Today it's just, I'm a mess. But I think that if anything, he's a little bit dehydrated, but that's the quickest thing that they can take care of. Right? You know what I mean? I think he'll be fine for this game. He may have had a little bit of a stomach bug, whatever was going on with him. Yes, it sucks, but he's had a day to rest. It's a big game. Going back to LA, down 3-1. It's a very, very tough position, because even if you take that game back in Minnesota, game 6 elimination game, is not a position you want to put yourself in, and Luka knows that better than most.
Yeah, and again, chat, like I'm telling you to bet a guy, I bet a lot, so proceed with caution. But he pissed me off last game. Not pissed me off, but it annoyed the fuck out of me that they didn't announce that he was sick. I know you said it's competitive edge, and I get it.
No, but I understand too. You know what I mean? Like, we get all injury news all year, all the time, and then we get to an important game, and now we don't know the boy has diarrhea. Come on, man.
And at this point, then Wolves probably knew that too. And what are you gonna do? Like, you're not gonna game plan that much differently, right? Like, what are you gonna not guard Luka? He's still out there for 40 minutes. If you don't guard Luka, you're still gonna fucking.
Like Al Pacino said, it's a game of inches, boys. You gotta get it. You got to get everything.
They literally lost by like right at the end in the last 4 minutes of that game. It was close, really, right? Like, dude, when LeBron hit was it 3 straight threes?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's been talked about enough either. We kind of briefly mentioned it before playoffs started, but like JJ Redick was imploring on this team to win early season games for tiebreakers, and that's exactly why the Lakers ended up third. Was early season tiebreakers, and other teams were getting frustrated because their records were better and they were ending up lower in the standings. And you could see them talk about it in press conferences that they were finally realizing that the early season did matter. So honestly, quick shout out to JJ. I don't know how we got there. I glazed over for a second. My bad.
How we got there? He literally dragged us there. But no, 100%. JJ's been in his bag from the start.
Don't get me bricked up, Embiid. Relax. All right, boys. Should we move on to those are the first two legs, the saucy slate lay, Jaden McDaniels, PRA. It is actually 22 plus. So and then 25 plus for LeBron points. All righty. Should we keep it moving? Move on to your team?
Yeah, just one last shout out. Check out Nikhil Alexander Walker's PA. He's been doing well. He 14.2 average, I think, at home. His PA is a lot better at home. So just quick shout out to Na.
Real quick though, just before we move, instead of Braun points in this, because we could do Braun something in the saucy lay. We could do Austin Reeves RA in this instead.
I'm not opposed to that at all.
What do you think, B?
I would be down.
Because then we can leave ourselves the possibility of putting Braun in our big leg, which I do like. This was funny. V sent us this too, Gerald.
Dude, it's so funny. Everybody go watch the Sunday conversation with Luca. He's like, who would you make you most nervous is sitting in the crowd, names 2 celebrities. And then he's like, and Bronny James. He's like, Bronny, he's not supposed to be in the crowd. He's supposed to be on the bench. What do you mean? He's so funny. He's like, Luca, right?
Yeah.
Who's that? Who's this? John Morant. Oh my God, bro. It's so
my God.
It's so
really
funny.
Good. I also really like the fact that Luca's doing more of these types of things now. You get to see his personality more.
If we could get a Jokic like hot ones or fucking Sunday conversation, I would lose it.
Dude, Jokic hot ones would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Do you think he does spice? Do Serbians do spice? Anybody in chat know what their
that guy seems like he
is?
fucks with some hot sauce.
Do you think he does conversation is the question? That's the real
I think you've seen him in the offseason. That man can have a conversation or two. He just doesn't like to do it when he doesn't want to. All right, we're going AR. So AR 9.5 RA, and then Jaden McDaniels 22 plus PRA.
Let's get it.
All right, let's roll. Let's keep it moving.
Wait, it was 10 plus for AR?
10 plus, yeah. Okay. Off to Orlando. To Disney World.
All right, boys. We got the Magic and the Celtics. 7.5 point spread over under 199.5. What are we looking at in this one? And I hope I didn't lag too much there.
Don't even ask me about this game.
I'll go.
Oh man.
I mean Paolo. Like
Paolo.
I like his PA the most, I think. Or just the points. 28.5. Cut the hook. Drink the juice a little bit. You just get that in all 3 games this season. Or all 3 games, excuse me, in the series. They won last game. I know one of you guys is going to probably be going to talk about Tatum, I'm sure, so I'll let him do that. But he's going to take 25 shots. They need him. Franz finally had a big game last game, and I think that is the reason why the Magic ended up winning was because Franz had his big game. That's not something I want to bet on because I don't think that's going to be a consistent thing moving forward. Maybe he has another one back-to-back and back at home, and that could be a deciding factor here. But I just not going to overthink Paolo. So give me Paolo 27 or 28.5 points.
I like it. I mean, I think Paolo's a great play. He's had great volume in this one. He's playing high minutes, and he's seen the ball like very well in a game tonight. Look, you can get the line now sitting at 28.5 for 29.5 for plus money, but you kind of have to go balls to the wall. You don't want to give up home court. You finally stole the game in a series that maybe nobody had you won, right? But what do you think, Suk? Played 42 minutes last game. Probably more of the same today, right?
Yeah, sure. Magic stuff with them.
Let's not ask Suk any questions on this game because he don't want to talk about it.
I will say though, I do have something. Sam Hauser, is he gonna go scoreless again without Drew?
Fuck that guy, man. I ain't betting that guy.
Come on,
No.
little Sammy boy.
I'm with you, Suk. I'm seeing unhinged Celtics fans on the timeline saying you got to give his minutes to Bailey Shireman. Like people are so quick to People are so quick to forget, man, what he brings defensively, what he does on the ability to switch, and he hits big shots time and time again. We're in a series where it has been a very beat 'em up kind of a physical series, and the Magic, to their credit, have done what it takes to make the Celtics grind out every win and then lose game 3, right? I'm not taking anything away from them, but they've made it very difficult to score points in this series, right? It's not by surprise that guys like Sam Hauser are having a little bit of a difficult time, but that's why I'm looking at Jason Tatum. I'm taking his points today, sitting at 25.5 minus 110. He had 36 points in that last one. You can look at the 17 he had in game 1, but you had big games from Derek White. This is a game where this has been an ugly series. Everyone's kind of pissed off in this one. JB's talking about fighting. The Magic are pissed off. KCP's been going nuts too in the media. I don't know what's going on in such an in a 2-7 series. I haven't seen this much angst or bad blood. But these teams do not like each other. I'm looking at Tatum because I think he's going to come in on the road like he's done all year and step up his volume, step up his game in a situation where his team hasn't been as good offensively. The assists haven't come as easily on the road. Guys like JB have not been as good on the road. But if you're looking at Tatum's road numbers this year, they've been fantastic. He averages 26.65 points per game, shooting 45% and 35% from 3. In the postseason, it only gets better for him. He looked like their best player last year. He's done it again this year. 36-point game from him last game, and they lost. You can't have that again. You don't want to go back to Boston 2-2 in this one, in my opinion. So give me Tatum. I think he's going to play a lot of minutes. I think he's going to take a lot of shots. And they're not doubling him either. They're playing him one-on-one, and I think that's a situation where he can take advantage of anybody on that team.
Yeah, I looked at his threes too, because obviously the Magic are a tough team to take a defense or an offensive player versus them from 3, but Tatum shot quite a few threes in his return, made them. His line's, I think, 2.5 for a little bit of juice. I think it was minus 145 when I was looking at it last night. Minus 120 now. Hit 4 last game, hit 4 in game, or didn't obviously hit in the game 1 of only hitting 1 3, but he took 10. So I liked his threes. I like the points too, like you mentioned. I was definitely thinking about dabbling with that. Hard to not. There's also the fact that JB might not play. He's game time. I think he's going to play, but there is that injury news. But what do you guys think about this? And this is maybe this is making me want to bet Franz now. No Drew again. And what we saw last game with no Drew, and we saw what Franz did. Is that the key that unlocks the Franz machine of the fact that there is no Drew here? Also his volume was higher last game. Back at home obviously helped that situation too, but 24.5, he's also hit that in the last 2 games in this series, had his big game. They need him to be that guy, that secondary option with Paolo. They need him to be, if anything, on the same level as Paolo for them to win games, and he did it last game. And no Drew does change the math defensively for the Celtics. So what do you guys think, just watching this team a little more consistently?
Look.
You talk about it because weirdly the only thing I had circled with Paolo is they're going to put his stocks at a very playable number again.
Talking about Franz, but yeah.
Yeah, Franz, sorry. Yeah, his stocks is back at 2 again. Very playable number. V, what do you think about him offensively, though?
I do think that this is a situation where, no Drew in the lineup, but Drew's spent a majority of his time in the first 2 games guarding Paolo Banchero. If you go back and you look at the matchups, the majority of his time is spent guarding Paolo Banchero, and I think a lot of Franz's game in that game 3 had more to do with the home crowd, the home environment, and it's been a situation where with him all season, right? A lot of these guys that are kind of coming into their own, they spend the first 1 or 2 seasons where they're playing like superstar level basketball, playing very well at home. JB is another guy who has done that same thing for the Celtics. His shooting percentages drop off 5% from the field, 10% on the road from 3. This is a similar situation with Franz. He's going to play better in front of the home crowd. No Drew. Yes, it's going to help, but I wouldn't say that would be the only situation in this one, just because Franz has a good size matchup with any of the wing defenders for the Celtics outside of maybe JB. And JB and JT are going to spend a lot of time guarding Paolo tonight, I think, and it might be another good spot for him, to be honest. You need him to play well. If they don't have at least 60 combined, Paolo and Franz, what chance do the Magic have in this series, right? Even the game they won, look at that. They scored under 100 points.
Franz last game took 27 shots, 13 of them were from 3. He took 13 threes last game. Shot a lot of 3-pointers, made 3 of them, and scored 32. I like his points. I think the 24.5 is very live on the table. Would you guys want to take that? I think for the saucy lay, for the slate lay, we've got to take Franz or Paolo. I don't feel comfortable taking any other Magic player, to be honest.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to take Franz or Paolo?
Corey Joseph. No, I'm just joking.
Chat, what do you guys say? Chat, help us out.
Franz or Paolo?
I like Franz's line, but I like Paolo's usage and the way that he's kind of, stepped up in this series.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, our slate lay went 5 of 6 last show, and we sold the bag by changing it from the over, and then took Tatum out, and that would have smacked. So
I never would have thought that the Magic won a game. It would have been an under game either.
Paolo. Everyone's saying Paolo. Let's go Paolo. Well, actually, one Franz from regular Hooper, but we'll go Paolo.
Love you, regular Hooper. Both.
Paolo. Both, yeah. All right, Paolo. Should we just be chalky and go Paolo and Tatum?
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't want to pitch him as my saucy play, so I'm down to take Tatum here.
You don't want to take him as your saucy play? No?
I don't want that kind of juju. Just throw him in this. That'll be good.
All right.
You just want to take both their points?
Yeah.
We could take Tatum at 25 too, cut the hook.
Yeah. So 28.5 for Pancaro, 25 plus for Tatum.
29 and 25.
Mm-hmm. Are you guys worried about Celtics if they lose this game?
No.
Am I worried about the Celtics? No. Is the sky blue? Do we orbit the sun?
Chad, are you guys worried about the Celtics if they lose this game and it turns into a best-of-3 series?
That's been worried about the Celtics since game 1 of 82. It's okay. We'll be all right.
Do you think
Gerald right now is recording this, so
I think weirdly, and V can tell me if I'm crazy. I think Drew has looked old this season, and I think it might be a little addition by subtraction without him.
Parlay Patty's not worried. Red's not worried. So you guys are 7.5 points is a lot, though. I feel like the Magic maybe cover 7.5, but the Celtics win. So I can see that being a case.
It's the playoffs, and you know how I feel about Celtic spreads.
Yeah.
Sure. Gerald's clipped it. All right, let's move. Sure. Let's move to the last game of the night. Cardi, okay. Not doing anything, Steely Dan? It's 2 minutes into the game, brother. Come on.
Steely Dan is like me and NZ. Love to see it.
Jesus.
Oh, my God.
Sook has literally gotten to the point he'll text us at halftime and be like, shit's caked. I can't do it. It's over.
Bro, the hook on Tari Eason last night, I was legit. I was speaking in tongues to myself in the corner of my living room, dude.
Can you imagine? Sook needs an exorcist in the corner, his wife on the phone. Oh, my God.
Oh, Darren.
Double. Let's go. Should have put that in there. 2 assists now, too. Sook was all over that one. Help some. See, this is where we hope you guys listen to us and maybe don't press the buttons we press, but listen to what we say. And you guys are smart too and listen to each other. So, All right, last game. Let's move it on.
All right, boys. Sook wrote about this one. Peep the scribbles at bettingnews.com. We got a 4.5 point spread in in Milwaukee. Over under 226.5. Boys, everything's on the line for this Bucks team. And Dame did not play well offensively last game, but did you guys see him turn up the intensity on the defensive end? Somebody tweeted this out. This is what hatred can do to somebody. It was Dame playing insane defense on Halliburton.
So I know that I pitched you guys taking Lillard, and I felt good about Dame time, and he was terrible. But wouldn't it be fitting for him to go nuclear today after nobody's going to bet him? How many people are going to do this? How many people are going to say, fuck this guy and not bet him today? And you're going to look up and he's going to have a 30-piece. I'm not going to bet it. Maybe I'll bet it later in my own corner just because he owes me. But that's just my thoughts on that. But what cannot be ignored, and what I don't think we need to overthink, is that Giannis has been absolutely cooking this entire series, and I don't see that stopping. I really like his points. I like his PRA. I think I like his points the most. That's what I booked it at 32.5. It's Giannis. Like I'm not going to overthink it. It's Giannis. He's been cooking. He's going to keep cooking. They have a chance to get back in this series now, boys. If they win this game, it's 2-2, best of 3. And they got the best player on the court. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
I bet this with you, SPJ. I am on the Giannis train. I got it at 33.5. It was sitting at plus minus 109 earlier. It's now since moved to 34.5 for plus 110. I honestly still think it's a good spot. He's going to have a lot of shots. He's getting to the line a heavy amount. And in front of his home crowd, that's when you can depend on him to hit his free throws. The first 2 games, 53 and 60% from the free throw line. In that last game, 9 of 10 from the free throw line. It's no accident how his free throw percentage jumps up. Now, he's already not a great free throw shooter, but the guy with the little clock behind the net is definitely not any help. The entire crowd counting to 10 is definitely not any help. This is a situation where he's in front of his home crowd. He's taking a lot of shots. He's playing a lot of minutes, and they didn't have an answer for him in games 1, 2, or 3. I don't think that they grew an answer over the last 2 days to kind of contest with this guy. I also do think the series is going back to Milwaukee 2-2. Whether they cover tonight or not, I'm not sure. But Giannis is playing some of the best basketball of his career. If you're looking at just the last few playoff games he's played, you can tell how he turns up the intensity. He is a guy that is not satisfied with the one championship he already has. He wants another one. And tonight, I think he's going to put it all on the line. 34.5 at plus 110. Maybe go a little bit lighter. But I do think that he's going to go nuclear tonight.
Set it, forget it, don't overthink it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be down to make this one of our not slate lay, but one of our saucy entries.
This is actually what I was going to pitch for my saucy leg instead of Tatum.
Very down, very, very down. So since you wrote about this game, do you want to talk about your thoughts on this one before I give a couple more things I was looking at?
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is very telling. We're gonna find out how the series goes in this one. I'm shocked Milwaukee played the way that they did in the last game. And the thing that worries me here is that the game before, to stay in, Bobby Portis had to go absolutely nuclear. Last game, Gary Trent had to go absolutely nuclear. I don't think it's a good model for the Milwaukee to win this series, that they need a bench to hit an outlier number of threes for them to compete. So I'm not saying it with my chest, I'm just whispering it. I like the Pacers. I still like them in this game. I like them in this series. I don't know. I took the one official play that I do have in this game is I just went with Spicy P's 21.5 points. He's been shooting the leather off the basketball. He's been fantastic for this team. Low volume from beyond the arc, but it helps open up his game. It helps open up driving lanes. So 21.5 points for the best player on the Pacers. I think that's great. I also do think Benedict Mathurin, he's been hampered by an injury, but his points line is low, 9.5. He's hit that in 13 of 15 games. And also Obi Toppin. If Mathurin is hampered and he's not playing as much, I think Rick Carlisle will go to his bouncy forward. His 11.5 PRA, he's hit in 13 of the last 16 games. And then flip it over to the other side. If you do think that Milwaukee has a good chance to make noise and fuck shit up, then it's got to be another role player that steps up, and it might be AJ Green, who we saw play very good last game. His 11.5 PRA, he's hitting 4 or 5 of his last games, and he's shooting 45% on from 3 in the series. So if another guy steps up from Milwaukee, it might be AJ.
Yeah,
I like this. They've been talking a lot about AJ Green too in the Bucks locker room. A variety of the different players talking about how his game is, more than what we see in on TV, just because of his role on this team, right? He's good off the dribble. He can finish at the rim, but all we really get to see on display is the 3-point shooting because of his role as maybe the third, fourth guy when he's on the floor. But the body of work speaks to itself. They won last game. He played 26 minutes, 12, 4, and 4, right? And the home crowd always gives these role players a little bit of a boost, especially in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Obviously tough to ride a guy, but I mean, he played 25 minutes last game. They need, like you said, they need his overall play, but also they need that 3-point shooting. They need those extra scorers out there are surrounding Giannis. Another guy that we've talked about, shout out Yusuk also for sniping his assist last game, which was free. Kevin Porter Jr. I like his RA at 6.5, hitting 3 of the last 4 games as well against Indiana. Hitting, as you can see, it's very green over the last 10. Didn't hit the game before last in Indiana, but he didn't have a very good game. A lot of the Bucks players didn't play very well in that one, but he had 6 assists and 4 boards in their last game. Cleared the 6.5 RA pretty easily. So I like the RA a lot, 6.5. I've been riding the PRA quite consistently, but his no scoring last game kind of sussed me out a little bit. So I'm kind of off the RA train. He can very capable scorer. But I think I like the RA for him the most to give that. So
don't we
Shaggy, you can text him. He actually told us he likes the under in the Knicks game. Colby, if you want to ride that. Yeah, so KPJ, RA.
So, any comments on the rotation for the Bucks in Game 3 and what they kind of look like? Like we saw Brooke only played 15 minutes, and then we saw other guys that come off the bench like KPJ and AJ Green play a significant more time.
It's the pace that the Pacers force, and like SPJ's talked about numerous times, KPJ is a fantastic athlete. He fits this mold, he fits this style, and I think Brooke, you talked about this actually last game. He's kind of aged himself out of this style of game. If the Milwaukee Bucks do move on, he'll definitely figure into the next series, but I just think this is a bad matchup for him. A guy like Turner, who's a little bit more athletic than him, I think it's just a stylistic difference.
All right. Do you think Gary Trent's in line for another big game? 37 points in that Game 3. Like, we know shooters, maybe more than any other position on the court, get a significant statistical boost at home, right? An 82% shooter or an 82 shooter might go to an 85 if we're talking in 2K terms.
Yeah, I think Gary Trent is definitely in line to have another good game. He was very open last game. That's the worry too. When you're that open, the team's going to over adjust. That's kind of why I did talk about AJ Green, but Gary Trent, maybe PRA is still a move, but that 17.5 is a little high. At home, he does get better PRA. So I think at home, he averages about 16.5 PRA on the season. So maybe Gary Trent again.
That's very interesting that you bring that up too, Suk, because the Pacers did allow 21 wide open 3-point attempts in that last game, which is a stark difference than the first 2 games. And it's even tougher to do that on the road in an environment like Milwaukee, because Milwaukee only hit 38% of those. And if I'm just looking at last games, good teams that won their games were shooting 45, 60, 47, 48%, 50% on those wide open threes. Milwaukee still wasn't even hitting as many of the wide open shots that they should have. So that might mean a situation where they play even better than they did last time.
Trent threes and Trent stocks, great parlay piece. I don't know why it's one stock, but it's super juice minus 240.
Because they started him last game too, which is super interesting. They hadn't done that yet, right? In the series. Trent.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, no.
Interesting point about Gary Trent is that obviously, I think you guys touched on this, his scoring at home is a lot more consistent, which is fairly true for a lot of role players. But if you look at just his stats versus the Pacers, the 4 home games he's played against the Pacers, all being, well, the last 3 were with Milwaukee. All of them were this season, 18, 13, and obviously that huge 37-point game we saw last game. But even his last 20 games at home versus on the road, his point scoring is a little bit higher, his production is a little bit higher, and his 3-point shooting is a little bit higher. So
big vibes guy.
It's just scary to take a guy after a 30-point outburst like that of a guy who's not used to scoring like that to, roll it back again. But over 1.5 threes is minus 130. So, or excuse me, over 2.5, not 2 plus. Three threes. And I mean, he's hit that in his last 3 games at home versus the Pacers. So, and the Pacers, last thing, and then we can pick what we want to do. The Pacers aren't going to change their defensive game plan to guard Gary Trent.
No.
I think you live with, if he ends up making a bunch of threes, you just have to live with that that just gets happening,
Like Suk said, I think it was on Friday. He said the Bucks and the Pacers have decided they're going to let Giannis do what he does. One-on-one, they're not going to double him, and they're going to force the other guys to beat them, right? So far in games 1 and 2, the other guys did not show up, which is no surprise on the road. They did show up in game 3. Now, yes, one game, you ran into a little bit of a speed bump. You lost game 3. Do you really over-adjust that much after being up 2-1 in the series? Or do you stick to what's working and believe that, hey, these guys are not going to continue to hit these shots. We have to stick to our defense.
Yeah.
Right?
What you said.
Mm-hmm.
You don't
100%.
change anything. And honestly, like, shout out Rick Carlisle. He's fucking hilarious. The first 2 games, they were up 2-0, and they were asking him, like, what do we have to do to defend Giannis? And he just went, Giannis is amazing. I don't know what we're going to do. Obviously, that's bullshit, but you're just giving no bulletin board material. And like you said, V, they're just going to play their game. They're going to stay home on their shooters and let Giannis cook in the paint. That's why his points, even though it's that high, I'm still with you guys. I still like it.
Yep.
Yeah. Should we do Siakam for 20 for the first leg? Sook liked it. We talked about it earlier. It's smacked consistently at 28 points last game. We talked about it on here. Set it, forget it, not overthink it. Do 20 plus for the slate lay.
Yeah.
It would have been my saucy entry, though.
Oh, okay. Well, then let's not do that.
We can put it in. I'll find something else.
No. Let's put that in there. Let's find something else for this.
Let's find something else. There's plenty of
Let's do Gary Trent for the Bucks side.
Okay. What do you want to do? Threes, points, PRA?
Points, Sook? What do you think? Points or threes?
Oh, man, I don't know. I was kind of looking at the PRA, but I
would be down for the PRA because if they attack him to force him off the 3-point line, we don't, he's a guy that is more than capable of hitting a mid-range shot, cycling the ball too, right?
Good, decent rebounder for a guard. 17 plus, so 16.5 PRA.
He's also
I'm
tall.
so tempted to just put a unit on Gary Trent's turnovers. It's 1 for minus 125.
Do it.
I mean, yeah, I could see 1 for sure. After the way he came out last game, they're going to attack him a little bit.
They have to.
You can't give him that much airspace like they did last game.
Oh my God, I'm doing it.
You
know what's so funny? Remember me the other day when SPJ texted the Tyler Hero thing, like Garland can't defend? I was like, Tyler Hero turnovers next game. Smack that half.
Easy.
Bro, the worst part was DG didn't even play, man. That guy just sat out with a toe injury. Like, what are you doing?
I know, and Hero still shit the bed. That was crazy.
That was crazy.
So what are we gonna do on the Pacers side then? We're not taking Siakam. Does Nesmith come back out and cook like he did last game?
Oh, he's looked good, right? Talk about that a little bit.
It's 12.5 points is his line. He's hitting 16 and 18 the last 2. Playing time 27 to 30 and 26 in the series. Took 13 shots last game. The volume's not awesome, but I don't know, man. They need the Bucks aren't. Again, this is one of those situations where the Bucks aren't game planning to stop Aaron Nesmith.
No.
So I don't know. 10 plus even we could do for the parlay. What do you guys think of Nesmith?
I kind of like the 10 plus for the parlay. Maybe a little too juiced, but he's been playing fantastic. I've tuned into all of these games, and he catches that basketball. He puts his head down. We saw him test Lopez 3 times in the first half, get blocked at the rim, but it didn't change his mentality. He still came out, tested him again, and then he was hitting those corner threes and getting layups at the rim. I love his game, drafted by the Celtics, so he's got a little green in him, so I do like it. Or like Chewy's saying, you could go back to Bobby Portis, and I did mention Mathurin Chew. I do like his points, but he is dealing with an abdominal contusion. V, do you think? I don't even know what that means. So abdominal contusion, do you think that hampers the boy from Montreal?
Bruise. It depends on the severity. I didn't see if I saw what the injury was or like when he suffered it. I might have a better idea, but it's just bruising. It's a very much a pain tolerance. If it's worse, it might affect his shooting a little bit. And, just like it's I know everyone thinks basketball is not a contact sport, but it very much is, especially in the postseason. We're seeing guys, get beat up. It depends on what, the game looks like too. I like the Naismith look a little bit more just because he is a guy that has worked his way into a starting lineup in the NBA based solely off his defense. He is out there Hey, he hit 36 points. All right. He had enough Duffies for 36 points. All right. His wrist was fine. So, anyways, Naismith is a guy who's on an NBA court purely for his defense. And this is a Pacers team that lacks wing defense. And the same reason Nembhard plays alongside Halliburton to kind of make up for what he lacks on the defensive side, Naismith does the same thing. But he also hits big shots. He's also played in the postseason. And he went to the conference finals with his Pacers team last year. He's got playoff pedigree to a certain extent for a young guy his age.
Mm-hmm. I think I found what we should do. I like the Naismith after you just talked about it, and I do like that. I might bet that straight. I mean, Halliburton RA has been smacking. Austin just brought it up in the chat. I was looking at it right before that, actually. 14.5. He's hitting all 3 games of the series. He's hitting 4 straight leading up to the playoffs. He's hitting 7 of his last 8 games. I mean, he's going to have the ball in his hands a bunch. His rebounds has been great. 7. He's hit his rebounding 4.5 rebound line in 4 straight as well in all 3 games in this series. Like, regardless of what happens in this game, Halliburton's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. Yeah. And he's been smacking this 14.5 RA. So I'm down to make that our leg if you guys are down for that.
I'm fully down for that.
I am actually fully down for that.
Okay. Let's do it then. Hallie-wagon, be a wagon.
I'm actually, not to go backwards, I'm actually obsessed with this Gary Trent 1 turnover play. I'm tweeting it right now.
Bet it. Oh, wow, you're betting it. Okay. All right, so that means that the 6-legger we have put together right here with you beautiful people for the entire slate is Jaden McDaniels, 22+ PRA, 9.5 RA for Austin Reeves, Paolo, 29 points, Tatum, 25 points, Gary Trent Jr., 17+ PRA, Tyrese Halliburton, 15+ RA. And that is plus 33.44. Plus 33.34.
Let's go, boys.
Bing, bong, bang. We got so close last time. Let's do it again today.
Trent was a 17.5 PRA, correct?
Yeah.
16.5.
Ooh.
All right, locked it in. Chad, if you would like to ride, feel free to do so. Scrolling at the bottom of the screen.
Ride
all right,
responsibly.
Boys. As always, sprinkle, dust. Okay, we're at this point. We made it to the end.
We did it.
Saucy lay.
Giannis.
Sauce man? Giannis.
33.5.
Yes, sir.
I like the. All right.
You're into the PRA?
No. I'm down to do Giannis's points. I got 32.5, but I'm down to take the 33.5.
Giannis Antetokounmpo, 33.5 points.
Okay. Sook, you want to do Siakam, right?
Yeah. And then you got to pick someone else with an African accent so we can stay on brand here.
You down for the 21.5 points? Is that what you like?
Yeah.
Was
that racist? Borderline.
Yeah, that was very racist. No, that wasn't racist. That was, what is it when you're countryist? Whatever that is. Giannis also he has a Greek accent. So just a player with an accent. Can I do player with an accent?
Isn't Giannis's accent kind of Nigerian, kind of Greek?
Oh, it's 100%. It's like a mixture of both. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a mix. It's very Greek sometimes, and then it turns into African sometimes.
Yeah.
You guys want to go down with the Luka ship?
He's got an accent.
He has an accent. Yeah. It's also, we're just going foreign players, the foreign lay.
Kobe Presley kept asking him about Melania Trump because I think she's also Slovenian.
And he was just like, nah, I'm good.
Did we just do Luka points?
28.5. Yeah. So that's 3 legs. Giannis, 33.5 points. Siakam, 21.5 points. Luka, 28.5 points. It's plus 482. I feel like we got to add one more. It's a little soft.
We could leave it and just trust in these guys.
I'm not add one more.
I am too.
Of course you are.
Chat, what do you guys think? We don't have anything in the other game. What's the other game? We don't have anything in Magic or Pacers Celtics. Or excuse me, Magic Celtics. Franz? Another foreigner?
You already have him. I don't want to hear chat fucking bitch about it. I'd rather hear chat bitch about Franz Wagner.
Ride the German wagon.
Yeah, if he's gonna have another good game, we might as well fucking make some money off of it.
What's the line? 24?
I think, yeah. Porzingis 2 assists. Parlay Patty.
He's 4-2.
Latvian laser.
Latvian laser.
I honestly think he's like down for a big game. You can't hedge your life out at our expense.
What is where are we at here? Franz 25.
Ooh, Celtics money line.
It's like minus 300. Sure.
There's a little sprinkle to get over plus 500.
You guys just added into your own. Cat hit a 3 finally. Let's go.
Meow.
All right, so with Franz 25 points. So this is the all Euro. This is the Euro. The Sauce team goes on a Euro trip. Giannis over 33.5 points. Spicy P over 22 plus points. Luka 29 points and Franz 25 points plus 1033.
1033.
Mm-hmm. Works for me, eh?
Feels nice.
Feels good. We just need 4 guys to score their points. What could go wrong? I'm locking it in. There we go. Bing bong. Good stuff, chat. Great stuff. How are we looking? Is Cade finally scoring the basketball a little bit?
Can I get a translator?
Yikes. Wow.
There it is, chat.
Bing bong. All right, just an update. Brunson, 7 points, 6 assists, 3 boards already. Cade with a whopping 2 points, and that's it. Love to see that. Who else did we bet? Cat has a 3, and the Pistons are currently losing by 10 to start. It's 19. They only scored 19 points in the first quarter. That's going to change.
Yikes.
Yeah, big yikes.
Big
yikes.
If the Pistons go another year without a home playoff win, it'll be since 2008 that they haven't won a home playoff game, boys. This could be worse than getting just losing in the first round. At least win one home game.
I mean, at least they won in the Garden. At least they won a game. The Grizzlies can't say that. Giannis, 34 points. Spicy P, 22 points. Luka, 29 points. Franz, 25. We're going to Europe, chat. Euro trip. All right. Good stuff, boys. Great stuff, chat. Thanks for stopping by today for the All Sauce team on Saucy Sundays. Get out there and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Enjoy the rest of the NBA today. It's going to be fun. Boys, you guys got anything else before we say bye to these beautiful people?
Go Pacers.
Can I get some vibes for Vladdy Nuke? And that's all. Sorry, baseball suck. Don't kill me.
God. V's starting to text us more and more of his little home run bets that he's doing, and I'm starting to maybe think I might need to press the mute button.
Bro, I almost texted him on the side and was like, I see you in the main group spouting that fucking baseball nonsense every morning.
Yeah, we're almost there.
I'm addicted to home runs, chat. I can't stop.
Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, chat. We'll catch you guys tomorrow for Afternoon Bespresso to recap the weekend and get you ready to rock and roll on this beautiful Monday. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Enjoy the day. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? Riding in the deep. Down in the deep. Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here. Rolling. What you gonna do? Rolling. What you gonna do now? Down in the rolling. What you gonna do? Right, y'all be loving this shit. What you know about